had read the books Becoming Supernatural a bunch of times, finally invested in the meditations. And as I worked my way through the meditations, the one that I really wanted to practice was tuning into new potentials. And so where you write the symbol and you know, so I studied that whole process of what it looks like and the emotions associated. But it took me like a month to really figure out what I wanted to create, because so many things were going right in my life. And I would go into meditation, and I really wanted to connect to something very emotional, right? To test it and to utilize that meditation. And and you know, there's all kinds of things like, I'm like, yeah, I'd love to have a Tesla, but it doesn't make me feel super emotional, right? So I would go into meditation, and I would kind of like seek out and visualize or imagine different scenarios and how it felt and what did I really want to create, what did I really want to draw to myself. And it took about a month, but in December, I was in a meditation, and I had this vision of an event at work. And I own my own business, and it's about 20 years old at the time. But for 10 years we had financial struggles. I mean, ever since the crash of '08, it was just, you know, like day to day. And I had a number of employees, and for 10 years I hadn't been able to give raises. My CFO, who's also my business partner, wasn't able to set up the retirement plan that she wanted to set up. We couldn't give bonuses, and it really, you know, it was important to me to do that for my staff. I was able to do it the previous decade, but it had been really rough. And so I just imagined, actually it just appeared before my eyes. I mean, I was in a deep meditation, and I saw her, my CFO, I saw everyone at a table and the whole staff, and she had 3 envelopes in front of everyone. And she said, open envelope number 1, and it was a bonus for past years served. Envelope number 2 was a raise to bring everyone up to a current level. Envelope number 3 was a retirement plan. And it just brought me to tears, and I'm like, that's it. That's my symbol. That's what I'm gonna do when I do tuning into new potentials. So I didn't have a letter, you know, like Dr. Joe likes you to have a letter, or he says have a symbol and surround it with the squiggly lines in some of the teachings. Anyway, so every time I would go into that meditation, it was 3 envelopes. And I even told my business partner, like the very next day, I said, you know, and she was just starting to get into his work too, but I shared the 3 envelopes, and every time I went into the meditation and took that symbol with me, it was so meaningful and so powerful for me. There was so much emotion, and so I did it just like Dr. Joe said to do it. I made the list, I made the symbol, and practiced the meditation. So here we go through the next year, and I'm still practicing the 3 envelopes, and I would throw it out into the field in some of the other meditations too, you know, like maybe not exactly following the instructions, but you know, I had my 3 envelopes, and it was like, you know, boom. The year goes by. Exactly 12 months later is December 2020. I'm in a meeting with the leaders of my company, and my CFO says, okay, we're giving out bonuses this year. And she says, and we're able actually to give significant bonuses, and she gave the amount. And then she says, in addition, and there's just 4 of us on the leadership team with Zoom, you know, but she says, in addition, I've set up an IRA for everyone, and this is how much I'm funding in the IRA. And 10 years have gone by that we have not been able to do this with a 20-year-old business. And then one of the partners says, well, what about raises? Like, there's some people that really haven't had raises in a while. And she said, yep, I'm evaluating all that, and I'm going to bring everybody up to level. And I kind of knew it was, I knew it was coming. We had been talking about these random different things, because the year had been really good for us. And then I left home, because I had been at home, and I was driving to work, and it just struck me that all three of the things that I had so passionately been imagining had just come true. And she was the one to deliver them. And it was an amazing, amazing experience.